Hello everybody and welcome back to City Skylines 2, where we've been working on water down here for a while and there's still more to be done. I would like to work on that at another time at this point. I want to get this area filled back out again, but I kind of want to just let this water settle for a while and just see how that's going to go. So I'm just going to leave it be. I'm going to try to forget about it for the moment. We'll come back to that perhaps next episode. For right now, what I want to do is I want to tackle some things going on up here. Specifically, we need more low-density housing. No one could have ever seen this coming. This was completely unpredictable. I do also want to take a look at all of this. This is weather damage out over here. So this is being damaged by a storm? Pretty sure it's sunny right now. Yeah, I don't see a storm here. Okay. I don't know what's going on with this weather damage. I do see some traffic jam out over here. We can take a look at that in a moment. But what I really want to address right now is these abandoned structures up here. Lack of entertainment, high crime. Okay, that's definitely something we can work with. So what we would end up doing is we would want to put in a police station, probably out in this block over here. I was hoping we'd be able to fit it in under the highway there. Unfortunately, we can't. So with that being the case, we could put it like up here, theoretically. Something like that. And then I'd also like to upgrade that for more police vehicles. There we go. So that can patrol this area out over here. Now, lack of entertainment. That pretty much means parks. Fair enough. There is a dearth of parks up here. Okay, I'm going to put one here. And probably one out over this way. Likely one about here or so. And maybe even one up here. We need a lot more parks for denser areas. So where we've got that medium density housing, we need more parks. We can definitely put one here and then perhaps one about here for the time being. That might do the trick. Yeah, that should be relatively okay. Now, we do need quite a lot more housing, and for the moment, we've still got this meta block here that we can put right on in. So I'm going to do exactly that. We're going to get this zoned up like so, and we'll make sure that this is zoned up here as well. Okay, something along the lines of that. So that should take care of that for the moment. I want to see what exactly is going on over here. I think maybe we just need to take the 3-lane back further. That shouldn't be a big deal if that is indeed the case. So the 3-lane would need to go back over here and just get us a little bit more space before we go to this overpass here, right? So we could definitely do something like that. Just a small amount of more space. This isn't as even as I'd like it to be, so we could have it be maybe about here and about here. That's not perfectly even. Ooh. Just looking at the way that this bends here. It's okay. It's not perfect, but it'll do. So is that going to clean up this area? It should. Hang on, there's a left turn here. That would also be something that we would want to take care of. So we'll hop over here. No left turn allowed here. No left turn allowed here. Same thing over here. No left turn here, and definitely no left turn there either. So we'll let that go for the time being. Is there any problem here? Probably not at this point, if I had to guess. That should solve this in its entirety for right now. We'll see if maybe this turn here becomes a little bit overloaded. It might. If that's the case, we can't take this up to 3 lanes on each side. But we can maybe create more time to merge in here. That might be a possibility. Whoa, this guy just pulled an illegal U-turn right here. That's exciting. You're supposed to just go around to here, bud. Okay, they're doing some lane changes here. This turnaround over here is going to be temporary. This looks cleaned up. So I don't think there's any problem there whatsoever. The weather damage down here isn't so bad. High crime over here. Crime should be being taken care of. We just got 2 additional police stations in this region, so this shouldn't be a problem. We've got significant police presence out here. There are some traffic accidents going on over here, and that's going to cause some potential issues, but it should be fine for the moment. We're seeing this getting developed. I want to check in on this specific area over here. The reason I haven't developed this yet is because of the water that is here. Okay, so to that end, I'd like to grab this level here, and we'll just level that out and bury that water underground. There's some over here as well. I'd like to get this area redeveloped. So we can just do something kind of like that, bury that underground, wait for a water tick, and that'll be fine. We're still pumping water out of this area. It's slow going. No doubt about that. There's also drainage happening here. And of course, over on this side, we're pumping water out of this area. That is low efficiency due to lower than previous water depths, so that's great. And this water is, of course, in theory, I don't know if it actually is right now, but in theory, it's flowing down here. We are definitely seeing the water level here getting very, very low, though. So we'll see how that ends up going. I'm not going to spend too much time on the water situation this episode, but I do want to get this area redeveloped. So let's use the Soften Terrain tool and smooth some of this right on out. Not necessarily you. Level Terrain tool here. There we go. And Soften Terrain tool out here. Okay. So that'll do for now.
Humans are programmed to desire certain
there we go. Now we can bring this road back in with the curve tool. So we'll just bring that around and about here, I think will do. And then this guy should just come on down over to here. About like that. I don't love what we've got going on here. So we could just redo this little section. That might end up being like taking this out here.
Thank you, Professor.
And bringing it in over here. But that's a pillar there, which isn't shocking. We could bring this around like so. That gets overlapping items. Okay, so we need to bring it in about here. And then like that. We definitely have some shadow issues here, but that would probably get cleared up as we smooth out this terrain. So let's grab the Smooth Terrain tool, turn down this brush size a little bit here, and we'll just smooth that down and see if that takes care of those shadows. Yes, it does. Phenomenal. So that gets that all rebuilt. Next up, I want to use the Straight Line tool, and we'll just connect this guy in here. There we go. Why did that put a crosswalk there? That's not exactly where we want a crosswalk to be. Okay. Something more like that. That's more like it. Now, that's definitely having some shadowing issues. That's not shocking, given the terrain in this area. We could try to smooth this terrain out a little bit, but honestly, this terrain over here is going to be pretty messy due to the water over here no matter what. So for now, I'm going to leave that be, and we're just going to extend this guy down to... please snap only to angle here. Yeah, down to there. That'll do. So that'll be absolutely fine. This guy would go about here, but we are running into potentially pillar here. Actually, I think this is just the terrain in this area. So I'm going to take this section of highway out, and we'll rebuild it up to here. That'll be fine. That'll allow us to smooth out this territory a fair amount. So we'll just redo this like that. Then we can extend this section of highway out over... Where are we? Okay. Out over to about here, right? But we need this to come over... Well, really, we should bring this guy down first. We really, really should. So only to angle, please. There we go. Something about like that. And this would just need to be brought down in height. That's fine. We can always address that later. These guys are not in their correct positioning. Okay. This is actually very slightly a bridge here. So I'm going to just get rid of all of these guys, and now we're just going to soften this terrain over here in a slightly higher brush. And we might use the slope terrain tool to get a connection kind of like this. I do see some water peeking out over here, so that's not necessarily great. Let's soften that out, and let's see if that water goes away. I think it did. So slope terrain tool out over here. There we go. And we can soften that out. Something along the lines of this. And then this section of road would need to be rebuilt. Now, I'm not sure if we actually can. This might be considered in water at this point. Indeed it is. So this section of road is not viable to rebuild. So for now, that's, I guess, going to have to be okay. What we could simply do is knock it out to here. Kind of like that. And then just let this be. Where is that going to go as far as the terrain contours go? Okay. I think what we should do is grab slope terrain tool and do something kind of like this, creating a downward slope like so. Just checking to make sure that we're not letting water in on this side. And I think we actually are a little bit. So let's bring this down to about size 20 on the brush size. And we'll just do something kind of like that and make sure that the water isn't coming in. This should encourage all of this water to flow down towards the pump. And we'll just let that clear out for a little bit. I do see this guy needs to get out of there, but otherwise that should flow reasonably nicely. We don't want you zoning here. Please don't build here for the time being. Please do not build in this area. We are definitely going to be redoing that. Okay. So we'll let that water flow out of there for now. It's currently attempting to breach this wall, but the water will eventually leave. We're not working too hard on that. What we're really working on is this area right up over here. And I would like to bring this road at least partway through here. So specifically, I'd like it to go to about here. And what that allows us to do is, without rebuilding this section of road, which will be complicated with the water over there, that allows us to bring in this highway. And I want to snap at this point only to angle. So that's going to allow us to bring in this highway here. That's interesting. This is significantly low. I don't want to have to rebuild all of this, so we're going to avoid that for the time being. This area over here, right, that needs to get rebuilt. We're going to, for the time being, extend this out. I think this is relatively dry at this point. So this road would get connected like down over here. This is at a jaunty angle, but we'll allow that for the moment. And then this section of highway would simply want to be reconnected out over here. Overlapping items. I guess we can take that out of there and just rebuild this from scratch up over here, right? So that would be reasonably fine. We have a lot of rebuilding work to do here. Overlapping items. I think it's because of the height of this road. I'm pretty sure that's what we've got going on there. So let's take that all out of there, and let's just utilize the Soften Terrain tool at 100% strength over here. And let's smooth this territory out and see if we've got any water. There shouldn't be much for water remaining up over on this side, but there might be a little bit. But broadly, I think that's okay. So it looks good. Let's extend this in. That'll go about here, like so. Yeah, that's a bit off on the angling, but that's probably due to the previous construction, and I'm not going to fix it at this time. So we do see that there is a pillar right where we need to be over here. That's okay. We probably want to rebuild this section of highway anyway. This section of highway arguably should be rebuilt as well, but this section was by far the most in need of it. So for the time being, we can just bring this guy right up over here. That again appears to be at a bit of a jaunty angle. The angle snapping in this game is a little wonky, but it's okay. Actually, it's just this side that's at the jaunty angle. That'll be okay for the moment. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. So now this section of highway will want to come on in. I want to make sure that that's at 10 meters. And let's snap that only to angle here. And that's not going to be too bad, all things considered. Yeah, that's kind of self-correcting at the roundabout. So that'll be okay. Now we can do our on-off ramps over here, which should, of course, go here. So we're going to need these to go somewhere around here or so. Sure, that'll do. And then we'll bring this guy out. Yeah, that could potentially remove some items there, but it's not the end of the world. And let's just do no left turn here. Here. I want no left turn here. Apparently I can't turn off the left turn here. I'm on right turn. I'm dumb. Okay, right turn is allowed. Left turn is not. That would help. That would certainly help. Okay, so that's good there. Next, we can do the rezoning. Now, everything over here is light residential? I'm pretty sure that's light residential. Yeah. So that can all get zoned light residential here. I think this is row housing up over this direction. So we can certainly grab the marquee select tool and do something like this. And then low density housing would be all of this area out over here. Like that. We need an off ramp over here. That's definitely something that has to happen. And we'll just bring that in about here or so. And forbid left turns here and here. Otherwise, that should get redeveloped nicely. So there should be no real problem there. In terms of this area up over here, I think that's already been redeveloped. So that is looking good. This area down here still needs some additional work, but we can definitely do that. So we extend out our highway here, snapping for now only to angle, and have it be about here. Actually, let's just have this snap directly to geometry and just get this self-correcting. It's a little bit off in terms of the angle, but that's fine. We could even, if we really wanted to be clever here, we could use the curve tool to go out to... Okay, that's going to need to go up that way. But we could just use the curve tool to bring it in something like this. I don't want to do that. I want to just have this be straight. So I'm going to take out this section of highway here, and we're just going to bring this straight in. Yeah, that'll definitely do. So right about here, then about here, then about here. And it'll self-correct here. We can definitely see it's a little off there, but I'm not going to rebuild the whole highway for that. So that'll be fine. I do see this section of water pooling right here. I kind of want to fix that. So we're going to use the slope terrain tool, grabbing this height, and I'm just going to slope that down like so. There we go. That will flow that water down, and then we can reconnect this out over here, although that's considered in water, so we'll have to wait for this water to recede a bit before we can really get that rebuilt. Obviously, problems are ensuing out over here, and that is to be expected, to be honest. So that's okay. I'm going to use the curve tool here, and we're going to move this guy out over here. That's still considered in water? I guess it's this section right here. Oh, no, it's this right here. Look at that. There is a little bit of water there. We might be able to drain that using the slope terrain tool on the minimum brush size, taking this down to about here, and creating a drain right about there. Or maybe even right here. So it would end up being something kind of like that, right? But this is actually not the correct height, apparently. It cleared the height. So that's fine. We can just make this drain be something kind of like that. So in theory, yeah, I think that is draining out. Now it might be trapped by the curb. I don't know if that's modeled or not, but it's definitely draining out here. Yeah, that's 100% receding. And it's receding pretty quickly. Now, to be clear, there's not a lot of water there. But that's great. We're definitely making some progress on that. Now, I want to check in real quick on how this is going. It's definitely low level on this water. There's not a lot of water exiting at this point.
And try to stay off the streets.
But I think it is still draining out. The water levels are, I'm 99% sure, dropping over here. Want to check in on this guy? Minus 80%? That's definitely improving. This water level is definitely dropping.
The commercial district is
so that's good. That's very, very good. We have, of course, already filled out our housing up over here that we just put in. So that's all a thing. I want to check in. What's going on up over here, though? Yeah, these just need to be bulldozed. We never actually bulldozed them. So we can bulldoze these, and then that can start developing again to help deal with some of this demand. So we can get rid of all of those. Phenomenal. And why did these get abandoned?
Have already been dispatched, and traffic
High crime.
should return to normal. But if you're planning a quick trip out,
okay,
you might want
so
to
there's apparently still high crime over in this area. We have put in a fair amount of police over here, but it seems we still need more. 5% crime probability. Okay. So we could definitely consider putting a police station, like, somewhere over... I really don't want to put it over here. We could extend this road out. It's going to need to be extended eventually anyway. And lock that only to the angle, please. And that would end up connecting, like, off over here in a really awkward intersection. The world's longest crosswalk. Okay, yeah, we're probably going to end up redoing that, but for now, I want to put a police station out over here. This is likely going to need to be moved, but that's understandable. So we can then put that in there. In fact, it's definitely going to need to be moved, but that's a temporary position that we can put that in at. So that should hopefully deal with the high crime out in this area. We'll just need to get more police cars patrolling here, and here they come. Should be 12 of them, I believe? Yes. Phenomenal. So that looks great. At this point, we still have quite a lot of demand for low-density residential. We need all the low-density residential. So we'll need to figure out where exactly we want to develop. I'm thinking finishing off this side over here might be where we want to develop next. Of course, the water park is still a bit of an issue. There's no doubt about that. I do think that some of this water has been draining. It looks to me like it is draining out this direction at least a little. It's definitely draining out here if we keep an eye on that. So I'm going to leave that be for the time being. This water pump is currently at 62%, and this one up over here is at 81. So this is definitely improving, but it's a slow job. It's a really slow job to drain that out. So that's reasonably fine. We're going to have to wait for this area to dry out a bit before we can really start reconstructing all of this. However, this stuff up here should be zonable at this point. So we can extend this road southwards, or I don't know if this is actually southward, down from our current perspective here. And then these blocks should be able to be zoned. So we can just do something like this. Yeah, all of this is zonable. What isn't zonable here is from here over. Arguably, this up here would be zonable, so we could do that, just stopping it about there. Arguably. We're going to have to take some of that out for the off-ramp, though. We may want to just build the on-off ramps right now, before anything gets built here. That might be the best bet. So that would end up being an off-ramp somewhere around here. That slope too steep. Okay, we'll back it off a little bit, go a little bit wider. That's acceptable. That's overlapping items due to the pillar here, I think. Actually, no, we were just too low. Okay. So we'll bring this over and bring that in about there. Okay. That'll do for now. Of course, we'll need to get our left turns set up here. So no left allowed here, no left allowed here. There we go. Hang on. Are these inverted from the way that they should go? Yes, this one is supposed to be an on-ramp. So that needs to get turned around. We'll just hop over to here and get that turned. There we go. Now we need to say no left turns from here. That's right turns. Go ahead and do right turns. No left turn from here. There we go. That's more like it. So that should be fine. This area needs to dry a little bit, but that is making solid progress. Yeah, overall, we are certainly making progress on our water issues. Is this watery up here? Ah, this is a bit watery here. We're flooding in from here. Noted. So that needs to get dealt with. No doubt about that. We're going to use the level terrain tool, and we're just going to bump this up here, filling all of this out. As far as the actual water level in there goes, I'm not entirely certain what we're going to do about that. We'll just see where it pools, I guess, for now. That'll be okay. So we'll get that dealt with. I think that water actually came from the terraformation. I don't think it actually came in this way, but I think that things got terraformed when these buildings started. So that's where that issue came from, is the theory anyway. At any rate, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll continue to make progress on this water, but I think we do need to start focusing in on developing particularly this area right here. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.